Welcome to the world of wireless IoT. My name is Niklas van Boxler and I am pleased to welcome you to this brand new episode of the videocast Let's Talk Wireless IoT. We talk to exhibitors and to sponsors of the Wireless IoT Tomorrow 2022 to find out what they have prepared for the exhibition and for the conference, how they are reacting to the current challenges and what they expect from the event. Today we talked to Matt Branda from Impinj. Let's keep the introduction short, let's jump right in, and I'm looking forward to welcome you at the 19th and 20th of October in Wiesbaden, Germany. And I welcome Matt Branda. He's Vice President of Product at Impinj, and I look forward to an informative, exciting talk about Impinj and the Wireless IoT Tomorrow 2022. But before we start our conversation today, Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. So happy to be here and to be talking to you.
Well, it's great to have you. And I think I can already mention one specific point in our talk today, and that is the sponsorship that is Impinj having at this event. But we will definitely come back to the partner network on one side and the sponsorship as well later during our talk. And I would say, let's already start with the first question.
Sounds good.
All right, so here it is. This year, Impinj is a partner network sponsor of the Wireless IoT Tomorrow 2022. What expectations do you have for the Wireless IoT Tomorrow?
Well, the Wireless IoT Tomorrow really is a great opportunity for us to connect and learn from the broader IoT community, not only RFID, but learn from and see what's going on with other wireless technologies from Bluetooth Low Energy to ultra wideband to 5G, as well as how those wireless technologies are working with non-wireless technologies like AI and other sensor technologies to help enterprises achieve their digital transformation goals. And so, at the show, we expect to listen, to learn, to join the conversation, to see what's happening out there, what are some of the challenges and some of the pain points,
Right.
and also contribute in what ways Rain RFID is really helping enterprises along that digital transformation path. And at the show, one thing that we're really excited about this year is we are going to be working with over 25 partners to promote various IoT products and IoT solutions that are based on the Impinj Rain RFID platform. So really, it's a great opportunity for us both to promote what our partners are building and creating off our technology, as well as an opportunity to learn what's going on in the industry and see firsthand some of the great innovations that are happening across the board.
Right, right. So now we already learned a bit about what the partner network of Impinj means and where the focus is there. Well, we will come back to that later on. And you also mentioned that you are there to listen, to see how other are finding solutions, how are they developing products, for example. And yeah, I would like to come back to that later on, how you think the future, and if I talk about the future, maybe up to the next 5 years could look like. But for now, I would like to focus on, yeah, maybe not be the happiest topic, and that is we are facing currently a lot of challenges. Of course, we had the corona pandemic already, and now we see ongoing challenges as well, new challenges. How was the year been for Impinj?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. And first, recognize the global challenges facing all industries across the world. But really, when I look at 2022, it's really been a year of opportunity
Hmm.
for Impinj. And some of the challenges, again, recognizing the importance of those challenges, but also those are opportunities for our technology. So we've seen a lot of expansion and growth in Rain RFID, not only in 2022, but over the last 3 years, not only in retail, which was an early adopter of RAIN RFID technology, but across many industries, supply chain and logistics, healthcare, automotive, and many more. And what you see is many of the enterprises and companies in those industries have been facing those huge challenges. Not only the you know global disruption from the supply chain issues that we've all been hearing on the news, but also major changes in the way consumers behave as a result of the pandemic and the expectations that they have on enterprises. And a lot of those changes have forced acceleration of digital transformation strategies and journeys that enterprises are on. And RAIN RFID has become a critical tool or an essential tool for those companies to achieve those digital transformation strategies. And so over the last 2 to 3 years, we've seen tremendous growth and tremendous pull for RAIN RFID technology as a tool to solve those increasing challenges that enterprises are meeting. And so, yeah, we're very excited about the opportunities that lie ahead, especially as the global industry moves ahead, moves beyond these challenges, especially on the supply chain side.
Mm.
But really, some of the consumer behavior, and as you know, if you just look at things like logistics, the amount of packages that are being shipped because of the way consumers purchase things
Yeah.
are increasing at a rate where the need for operational efficiency, operational agility is really driving an accelerated need, not a desire, a need for RAIN RFID technology.
Right. So it's very interesting how you point out how wireless IoTs in general, but specifically RAIN RFID help or offer solutions to face all these new challenges that were kind of boosted during the Corona pandemic. I think you could see it developing even before Corona, how things were slowly changing, but especially with Corona, it was kind of a boost, and now it is it is just important for the companies to update to face these new challenges, and it's become harder and harder to keep on going like it was before of Corona, because you have to react to the current challenges. Yeah. Okay. And I can read between the lines that even despite those challenging times, it was a lot of ongoing projects at Impinj, right?
Correct. Yes, it's been a rich opportunity of new enterprises looking to adopt RAIN RFID technology, as well as existing deployments where companies were already leveraging the technology, looking for other ways
Right.
and other techniques to utilize the technology to help them solve some of those challenges.
Right. Okay. So we now talked about, let me say, the general picture, but let's talk about some products in more detail. So this year, Impinj has launched some new products, including the new Impinj E910, E710, E510, E310 RFID reader chips. So could you tell me more about these products? What developments has taken place?
Sure. Yeah. If you look at the Impinj platform, it really consists of three key aspects. One is the tag chips that connect everyday items. So everything from a T-shirt in a retail store to your suitcase as it moves about an airport, or packages that are getting delivered to your home. And then on the other side of that are the readers, the infrastructure and the various devices that read those elements and power those elements and take information and deliver that to companies to make use of the information and the data that's coming in from those everyday things. And so the family of reader chips that we recently launched, you mentioned the E910, E710, E510, and E310, is a family of reader chips that really enable a vast ecosystem of partners to develop IoT devices that can embed that RAIN RFID connectivity into those devices. If you look back on the RAIN RFID industry, what you've traditionally seen is really two different types of readers. You have the traditional fixed reader, sort of looks like a Wi-Fi box, is utilized in various fixed infrastructure. And then you've got what we traditionally call the handheld, which is a relatively large size handheld that you have a few per retail store or wherever you're utilizing it. And it's used to do kind of a inventory cycle count. What these reader chips, because of the advancements in not only performance, where they can read hundreds of tags per second at many meters, up to many meters, with non-line of sight, but also advancements in power and size and integration. So these can be integrated into IoT devices. So what we're seeing our partner ecosystem do, and this is one of the things we're very excited to showcase at Wireless IoT tomorrow, is the beginning of building a myriad of devices that embed RAIN RFID technology into it, so that you see a much more proliferation and ubiquity of read points to leverage these connected items. Everything from POS, point of sale, and smart shelving units or smart cabinet units in a retail store, all the way to enterprise grade loss prevention systems and conveyor systems, and then all the way what we're seeing, which is really excited, is embedding of RAIN RFID into enterprise mobile computers, smartphone accessories, tablets, which if you think as an example in the retail environment, instead of having a RAIN RFID handheld that I do a cycle count once a week or even once a day, I now have something that's always on the employee that I can be utilizing to do mobile point of sale. I can be utilizing it to execute returns. I can be utilizing it to find inventory and find various sizes in the store. And so it really starts to expand the number of read points that are possible with RAIN RFID.
Okay, so very, very interesting news, and I'm also looking forward to it to hear even more from Impinj on site as well. So you already mentioned the retail industry, for example, who should or where these products are perfectly designed for. Um, who else should be use these products?
Yeah, I think if you look at any enterprises that are trying to get visibility, and near real-time visibility into their assets, RAIN RFID is a very unique technology, not only because of the cost point, because it's a batteryless technology that delivers the ability to connect to hundreds of items per second at distance. So I said up to 10 meters earlier with non-line of sight, and that makes it a very unique technology in the IoT space that allows to connect everything. I said before, packages. So if you think of supply chain and logistics, tracking packages as they move through distribution centers, warehouses, to help logistics companies not only deal with problems in shipment verification, knowing when something came in and is moving through tracking items as they move, especially high value items in which their customers want to have better visibility into the goods as they move throughout the system, and then also loading efficiency and accuracy. Everything, a lot of packages today are manual barcode scans, which take time and are also prone to inaccuracies. So RAIN RFID is really helping these companies become much more efficient by essentially virtualizing their operations, by allowing those enterprises to connect to their most important assets, whether it's packages in a logistics company, packages or pallets, or medical equipment when you're talking about healthcare or even baggage. I mentioned your suitcase as it moves across an airport, everything from at the point where the consumer is dropping off the bag and until that consumer is picking up that bag in the other airport, the ability to track and virtualize those assets as they move across an enterprise is extremely important aspect of that digital transformation, and that's the role RAIN RFID really plays. And so one of the reasons, I mentioned when we started the excitement of the show to kind of interact with other technologies, is we really see it as a very complementary technology. To things like 5G and wireless and LoRa, which are more longer range backhaul technologies, where our technology is really, I always laugh about the word IoT because for the past many years, and I've been working in IoT for many years, it really was the Internet of devices. Most of what was being connected to the internet was, devices, whether it's devices in your home, obviously the smartphone and other devices. What our technology is uniquely doing is really connecting everyday things. Your T-shirt, your food items. Food is a ripe industry for connectivity to reduce waste, to optimize supply chains. And so what we're excited about is how RAIN RFID can interact with these other technologies to solve some of these big problems facing enterprises today.
Okay. Thank you for these detailed feedback. And now it makes even more sense what you said in the beginning, that these challenges right now put companies, let me say, under pressure, of course, to adapt to the situation. And the industries you mentioned, like even healthcare, retail, logistics, are industries that are under extreme pressure or even more than others. So it makes absolutely sense that with all the benefits you listed, to implement these technologies, to see what is possible and to save resources that then can be reinvested in other parts where they can be better used. Could be a lot of different resources that are saved by the use of this technology. And you also already mentioned that there will be 25, I think it's close to 25, the number is still growing. We are right now 90% booked out, but the number is still growing of exhibitors. We are roughly about 25 partner network members, and they are using those products already and will presenting solutions on site at the booth with these products, right?
Correct. Yeah. The Impinj Partner Network is a very important aspect of how we go to market with our technology. And so as a pioneer and leading provider of that RAIN RFID technology, but we are dependent when we bring, for that partner ecosystem to bring those solutions to enterprises, to utilize our Impinj platform to create various devices and solutions and software products that are helping enterprises integrate our platform into their operations. And so, yeah, we're very excited that many of those global innovative companies will be at Wireless IoT tomorrow, showcasing not only their devices that they've built around our technology, but also IoT solutions,
Right.
which comprise of not only devices, but software and integration into enterprise applications that really will showcase various problems that we're solving together across various industries.
Okay. So before we come back to the partner network members that are on site, but about the system in general as well, I would like to point out that Impinj will also be part of the conference as well. And do you already know what you will be focusing on in the lecture and who will be giving the lecture?
Sure. Yes. So we're really happy to have Martin Liebel, who's a close colleague of mine. He's our senior director of product management at Impinj, and he'll be talking about the evolution of RAIN RFID and its impact on retail. So, going into a lot more details on some of the things that we talked about earlier, and really talking about how RAIN RFID is expanding to solve many more problems that have been created by some of the challenges that we talked about earlier over the last few years in retail, and really helping retailers transform their business. And what we're really seeing, and the industry is confirming, is that retailers that have embraced RAIN RFID technology are emerging more successful, not only at optimizing their operations, but also transforming the consumer experience with retailers. Better omni-channel experience, better availability of inventory when they're in the store, more frictionless consumer experience, which is a touchless, frictionless experience, which is important in a post-COVID era. So Martin's going to lead a conversation on that, and I think it'll be a very exciting thing for everyone to check out. And then, as I said, we'll have many of our partners there, and also many Impinj employees will be there to help those partners promote the products and solutions that will be at the show.
Right, so that's definitely a benefit. If you have so much members of the partner network on site, then there's definitely more than one lecture to focus on where Impinj is included. There's a lot of information, a lot of lectures that will feature Impinj products and Impinj information, of course. But what you told me now about the specific Impinj lecture sounds already very interesting, and I will definitely be there to follow it. I'm looking forward to it. And just to wrap it up, so we talked so much about the partner network, and we already knew we have a high number of Impinj partners on site as well. So could you tell me a bit more about the idea behind the partner network? So the exhibitors on site basically show so much what is possible, or they import for themselves what is possible, how much solutions can be offered, how different products can be designed. So it's pretty much very flexible, right?
Yeah, sure. I would say that what you'll see at the show of partners exhibiting Impinj products is a small taste of what the Impinj Partner Network is. When you look at the overall program, it's a comprehensive program created for global companies that design, build, and innovate around our platform. So it's represented by a vast amount of, or a vast range of services, geographies, different types of solutions, different types of domain expertise that are all necessary to take our Impinj RAIN RFID technology and deliver various solutions to an enterprise. So if just building off the retail example that we were talking about in Martin's upcoming presentation, when a retailer decides to invest in RAIN RFID, there's obviously the tagging or connection of all the items in their store. And there's various partners in our ecosystem that leverage our tag chip technology to bring that to life, whether it's the printing and encoding aspect of that, whether it's the taking our chip and putting it into a tag that gets embedded or placed on a retail item. There's the infrastructure, whether it's handheld or mobile readers or fixed infrastructure that's being deployed and integrated into the store, and also the software element that's taking the data that's coming off those connected items and integrating it with existing systems that retailer is utilizing. So you start to see the importance of that ecosystem of partners and really the importance of the Impinj Partner Network that is really there to enable those partners, to connect those partners, because many times it's many of those partners working together to solve an enterprise problem with Impinj. And so that's the importance of Impinj Partner Network, and I'm really glad it's going to be well represented at Wireless IoT tomorrow.
Okay, so what you just said, I think explained it for me perfectly fine, about how much details on different parts of maybe processes, technologies, products we are talking in a general solution that our companies yeah, focusing on specific parts of it and to connect all of them, to offer support, to make sure that everybody is talking to each other makes absolutely sense. Thank you for this explanation. And yeah, like I already mentioned in the beginning, I would like to ask two more questions before we come back to our official next and already last question about, let me say, the future. So, what new applications do you see with Rain RFID, let me say, in the next 5 years?
Sure. What I see is really the expansion of RAIN RFID to do much more than one. We've already talked about the expansion of new industries adopting the technology. So beyond kind of traditionally, right, where you saw RAIN RFID is handheld inventory or inventory visibility of retail apparel, which was essentially replacing barcodes with something that could give you longer distance, allow for quicker inventory and more real-time inventory. So we're already seeing the expansion into other industries, whether it's supply chain and logistics, healthcare, automotive, and aviation, which I mentioned earlier. So we're already seeing that expansion. But what I'm probably most excited about is as the technology has advanced and really being led and pioneered by Impinj, it's opening up new opportunities even within those industries to not only identify items. So one aspect is just identifying, or inventorying an item that's in the proximity of a reader, but actually to be able to engage and locate those tags, which create new types of use cases. And again, if we just kind of stick on the retail example that we've been talking about, if I can engage and locate that tag, I can not only inventory it, but I can know as it moves across various, whether it's moving through the exit, so I can utilize RAIN RFID for loss prevention or loss analytics, moving from back of store to front of store, so I can start tracking inventory movement around my store. And then I can also, with emerging technologies, start to authenticate and protect those items. And so we're looking at new technologies that allow authentication of the tag, allow the ability to protect consumer privacy. And so one thing you're seeing is as tags get embedded into items, that the life of that tag is now extending beyond the enterprise. So again, in retail is a good example of, previously if the tag exists as one of the hang tags that you traditionally see on a shirt or a pair of shoes that you buy from the store, the second, very soon after you leave the store, you're ripping that tag off. This technology is now getting to the performance and size capability that can be embedded into tags and other thread that's in the clothing. And so that tag is now living after the life of that tag. And so when I look out 5+ years as RAIN RFID is increasingly utilized by enterprises to um, increase their operational efficiency, I see a future where tags are living more and more in the consumer world. And then you combine that with some of the technology we were talking earlier, as far as our new reader chips and those being embedded into various IoT devices, you can start to see not only enterprise IoT devices, but consumer IoT devices
Mm.
integrating RAIN RFID functionality and start to imagine the type of applications and
Mm.
also some of the challenges like consumer privacy that you
Right.
need to go solve with this technology. And so that's something, that's a longer term journey. Today we're solving key enterprise challenges, and already those enterprises are starting to use RAIN RFID technology to increase or boost the consumer experience. But what I see evolving is, one, in those enterprises, much more ubiquitous reading. Instead of one or two read points per enterprise, that the enterprises have many different read points, and those read points are interacting with other wireless IoT technologies to solve problems. But I also see RAIN RFID expanding beyond just solving enterprise problems and starting to exist in the consumer world to give consumers visibility into their everyday things. And you can start to envision different applications that where that can be highly useful to a consumer.
Absolutely. A lot of new possibilities are pumping up with these developments. And like you said, not only the number of real things in the Internet of Things is growing, but also the lifespan of these things when they are actually really embedded, and can live beyond the, for example, point when they were be sold. But that create new questions as well, privacy policies, for example. So there's a lot of going on at the moment. I'm looking forward to see what companies, for example, Impinj, how they will define what is coming up, how they will influence it, of course. But now we looked in the future. So 5 years ago, would you have expected that we are where we are right now, or would you have expected that we are already further, or are you pretty much impressed how the technology developed?
I would say I'm pretty impressed of where the technology has developed. I think there's a lot of room to go. If you look at the overall things, when you think of everyday things and what we like to call boundless IoT,
Right.
there's still a tremendous amount of opportunity for RAIN RFID. You know, it's a small percentage of those everyday things that are connected today, and so there's still so much in front of us. But I'm also really proud of the momentum in the growth, especially over the last 5 years, and just the myriad and the vast range of use cases and enterprises that are making use of this technology to solve real problems. And you're seeing, you're now starting to see that much more publicly, where companies and enterprises are talking about how they're utilizing this technology to solve problems. But again, I'm equally excited as what's happened, but also know there's plenty more ahead, which create new challenges. And as a technology pioneer and a technology leader, those are the type of challenges that excite us and get us up in the morning. And so, like I said, and kind of circling back to wireless IoT tomorrow and being at the event, that's why these type of events are exciting. It gives us an opportunity to interact with the industry, to learn what are the pain points that are out there, and what are some of the new ways that companies are looking at technology to solve some of those pain points and start to dream up and invent new capabilities for RAIN RFID to go solve those problems.
Right. So I'm excited. Yeah, what the next 5 years will bring up, how problems will be solved, what kind of solutions and products will be offered to companies to solve their products, and what kind of new challenges we will maybe face in the next time. But it's very interesting that you mentioned that a lot of work, or let me say potential, is still ahead of us, and that's very important to keep in mind. Um, and maybe one last question. You partly already answered it, but what does the Wireless IoT Tomorrow 2022 mean for Impinj and the partner network?
Yeah, really, it's the event is really an opportunity, one, to showcase the progress that we've made in the last year or years, and showcase some of those products and solutions that are bringing, you know, showcasing some of our technology advancements, and then how our partner ecosystem is leveraging or utilizing those inventions and those new capabilities to innovate and bring new solutions and new capabilities to enterprises. So one thing I'm excited about is the showcasing, the ability to. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's happened both in the RAIN RFID industry, as we've talked about, but also on our products and our solutions and our partners' products. in solutions. So it's an excitement to showcase, but on the other side, it's also an excitement to come learn and see what others are doing to innovate in that space. That naturally generates ideas for us on what we can do differently and what we can do, but also how we work together. I see RAIN RFID as a very complementary technology to a lot of the technologies we talked about earlier. So it gives an opportunity to interact and look for opportunities. As RAIN RFID is gaining importance and growth in the industry, I see a lot of opportunities to interact with machine vision companies, with as I mentioned, kind of 5G and ultra wideband technologies to solve problems in a unique way, where kind of 1+1 is greater than 2, where those technologies come together and solve a problem in a unique way, where separately they wouldn't be able to solve the problem quite uniquely. So the events like Wireless IoT Tomorrow and what they bringing together the ecosystem, again, it gives us an opportunity to showcase and show off some of the things that we've created along with our partner ecosystem the last year or two. But it's also a learning experience and a sharing experience with other companies and other technologies.
Yeah, thank you very much for this answer. Interesting how you level on one side show what is possible, but also learn. Very interesting way of try to constantly develop and adopt, see how others are acting. Yeah, well understood. And I would like to invite everybody who is visiting the event, who will be there on site, to of course follow the lecture of Impinj and also meet the members of the partner network to see how they define a solution, what they come up for ideas with products, and we will upload and promote a specific floor plan highlighting all members of the Impinj partner network on the floor plan, so that makes it really convenient to see where you should stop at the event. And for now, Matt, I thank you very much for your time, for your insights, for your answers, and I'm looking forward to meet not only the Impinj partner network on site, but also to follow the lecture and to welcome the Impinj team as well.
Great. It was great talking to you today. I really appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye.
Hello world, wake me up to another good